By design, it takes money to make money. Written by Sam. Read by Comrade Baby. If you really understood what "it takes money to make money" meant, you would want to overthrow capitalism, rather than see it as an impartial system that only requires knowledge and bits of folksy wisdom such as, "it takes money to make money," to navigate. It takes money to make money means you already have the capital to buy more capital, which begets more capital, that can buy more capital until infinity. Money is a form of capital that can be used to buy stuff, like food. It can also be used to pay rent. Money can also buy other capital, such as property. It can also buy other forms of money, whether it comes in the form of treasuries, precious metals, or other currencies. Capital will produce more wealth by merely existing, through property, shares, and lending. Money building on top of itself is called compounding interest. You will get the opposite version of that called compounding debt. As your interest gets added to your principal, your total debt grows bigger and bigger, increasing the amount you have to pay back. For the rich, it works in the other direction. The interest gets added to the money they already have, allowing them to earn more interest. In fact, they're the ones who lent you the money, and your interest is going into their pockets. Yet this is not where the story ends. This is only the beginning. This is still about the capital that the wealthy already have, and the automatic money that comes with it. The rich refer to this as passive earnings, rather than what we might call economic rent. Making money means being proactive, and using some of that money to buy more capital that produces more capital. This is where you'll see more aggressive behaviors, where the already rich seek the highest returns, along with leveraging the money they already have with other people's money to increase their total returns. To simplify leverage, think of a lever. When you put force on a lever, the lever multiplies that effect and allows you to move objects you could normally never move with your own strength. The more force you put on that lever, the more leverage you have. For example, getting 20% on $100 would be a high return, more than what all of us get at the bank. Now let's say I'm only getting a 4% yield. How can I get the same $20 return? By leveraging my $100 to $500. See how leverage allows me to get the same total dollar return even at a lower interest yield? So what is yield? Interest that builds money. Interest rate is interest that creates more debt. If yield sounds foreign, it's because it is. We live in a world of interest rates and debt over time, whereas the rich live in a world of yield and earnings, where time works against us and is a constant source of anxiety. Time only makes the rich richer. In reality, a rich person would want to maximize both leverage and yield, getting the highest return for the most amount of money. Going back to the 20% example, 20% on $500 would be $100. That's a 500% increase in returns. This is why already wealthy people find investors or borrow money when they already have money, to increase their total return. Like an amoeba, the rich buy more buildings and companies. Buildings and other forms of property not only have the upside of appreciating in value, but also generating rent. Similarly, companies generate revenue and dividends, while also appreciating. The rich already have money that's making more money, but they're also buying up more money that makes more money. Then they reinvest that money right back into buying up more money. It creates an exponential money-making feedback loop. This is why it takes money to make money. This is also why if you don't have money, you won't make money. You'll have just enough money to be turned into someone else's profit, because you need their property to survive. You need their medicine, their food products. You need to live in their buildings. You need the water they own to live, and even their land to exist. As an amoeba, since they've already consumed the planet and own everything on it, they've priced you out of getting any of their assets. They mostly do exchanges with each other. They will, however, lend you money to buy a piece of their holdings, effectively making money off of you twice. You pay them a premium for the property, allowing them to turn around and buy a bigger property, except now you're also indebted to them. They gave you money for you to give right back to them, while they continuously earn interest off of this one-time exchange. But this is not the only money you've borrowed. You already have other debt, which now makes whatever income you ever earn indentured. However, you also work for them. So they make money off of your surplus labor, then barely pay you anything, knowing that money will come right back to them in the form of rent, debt payments, and in the purchases of goods and products. All roads lead back to them because, when you have money, it makes more money. You can never escape this system. Consider how you're already paying them rent while also buying your necessities from them. Capitalism is an involuntary contract where we are bound to make already rich people richer. However, this feedback loop creates volatility in the economic system. This is the boom and bust cycle. Yet as long as the prevailing system remains, the wealthy will get richer during the bust cycles, while the rest of us pay for their gambling. Then, they'll get even wealthier during the boom cycles, while driving us to give them more money for the sake of the economic boom. Already having money equals a cycle of more money, and not having money equals a cycle of debt and poverty. The divine right of kings and queens is still very much alive, because birthright still very much determines wealth. This is capitalism. It doesn't redistribute wealth, but instead, acts as an accelerator for pre-existing legacies of inequality. It took feudalism, colonialism, and white supremacy, then financialized it. Even with this damning criticism, it is impossible for me to express how exploitive capitalism really is, because it is ever growing and worsening.